always watching out for you. This is KOAA News 5 at 6.
"8:46 this morning, silence, the site of the World Trade Center's North Tower. 9:59 a.m., all quiet at the site of the South Tower, honoring the moment the first tower fell. Ceremonies taking place at the Pentagon.
Please join me in respect for our fallen brothers and sisters in a moment of silence.
And in that Pennsylvania field where Flight 93 crashed into the ground.
Sandy Law Bradshaw.
America stopping to remember the 17th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks.
Give me some tunes.
And here at home, Southern Colorado firefighters climbing the incline in full gear, as you see, the same gear that firefighters climb the stairs of the World Trade Center. They do it every year now to honor the nearly 3,000 people killed in the September 11th terrorist attacks, specifically the 343 firefighters who woke up that morning not to return home that night.
The incline is hard mentally and physically with no gear on. We push through it. We remember the sacrifices that all those men and women gave on that day. That's what drives us. This is a day people forget. To us, we don't forget.
And good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on News 5 at 6. I'm Rob Quirk. Elizabeth has the night off, and tonight, complete coverage of the events remembering September 11th across southern Colorado and our nation. But first, we want to get to lead forecaster Mike Daniels and some record-setting heat in Colorado Springs today, Mike.
Yeah, Rob, take a look at these impressive numbers in the Springs. The high was 90 today, the old record 89. And look at this, the old record was set back in 1895, so we broke a 123-year-old record today. Yeah, that's impressive. Pueblo 97 this afternoon. That ties the all-time record high for the day. Really quiet out there right now. A couple of sprinkles I'm tracking out east of Pueblo from Avondale, headed for Nepesta. Most of that is virga. It's evaporating before it reaches the ground, just creates more wind than it does rainfall. Here's what happens over the next 24 hours. Downslope flow, large and in charge around here again tomorrow. That means lots of sunshine as we work through the day. It's going to be another very hot day. I've got record heat in your forecast once again. So enjoy the cool early tomorrow morning. You'll need the oven mitts to drive the car home tomorrow on that steering wheel. 88 in the Springs, Pueblo 95 degrees tomorrow afternoon at 5 p.m. Here's your bottom line, a very pleasant night tonight. Once that sun sets, the air is going to cool nicely. More record heat tomorrow. We'll be sizzling through the weekend, but I'm tracking a pretty healthy cold front that's going to put out the fire next week. Details on that coming up, Rob.
Mike, thanks. And new tonight at 6. And for the 16th year in a row, a Colorado Springs man showing his patriotism on this 9/11 anniversary. Since 2002, Chris Seal spends 12 straight hours on every September 11th holding and walking with that American flag for everyone to see. You might have seen him today at Galleon Academy. He says his Unity for the Community effort is to honor first responders and to memorialize the innocent victims that day. But this year, he says, his response is more political.
Everybody thinks it's for the presidency or you know, and then I got people that, hey, I see you out here every single year. I come out and support you, you know, supporting our troops. You know, I'm not for the war or against the war, but I am for the men and women that fight for this country to keep us free.
And he says he appreciates support from the drivers, and some people even stop to talk. Some say hi, and as you heard, some honking their horn to support. At Mitchell High School in the Springs today, students honoring one of their own, Catherine Yancey Labori, a 1975 graduate. She worked as a flight attendant aboard United Flight 175 that hit the South Tower. Every year since the attacks, ROTC cadets hold this special ceremony to honor the victims of that day. One cadet, whose birthday is today, says for her, it represents a circle of life.
I think there's kind of a beautiful symmetry to how we lost one of our very own, and at the same time I was born. So in that way, I like to try to help keep her memory alive.
She worked in first class that day, and She stood her ground, but just didn't happen.
Catherine's family also announcing the creation of the Catherine Yancey Labori Scholarship to help keep her memory alive and help students further their education. And in Pueblo, a large crowd of people and first responders honored the heroes who helped and gave their lives that day. Besides, photojournalist Carl Winder shows us how they are being remembered tonight.
The ringing of the bell that you just heard symbolizes the exact time that the South Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed.
We started within the city of Pueblo. We started an annual memorial in 2002, and we've kept that tradition going every year. To symbolize the devotion that these brave souls had for their duty, a special signal of 3 rings, 3 times each, represents the end of our comrades' duties and that they will be returning to quarters.
My father was a fire police in Pennsylvania. He was actually at Ground Zero shortly thereafter the attacks on 9/11. He's always been my ultimate hero. Always.
September 11th, 2001 represents the single largest loss of life in the fire service. As a member of the fire service, we take that very seriously. The important thing is that we do take that time and we pay our respects and our tribute to those who sacrificed that day.
Photojournalist Carl Winder, a terrific tribute there. The ceremony also had a special guest, Captain David Brentley from the Freeport, Long Island Fire Department. He was honored today. He was one of the first firefighters at Ground Zero that fateful day. President Trump today in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where the voices of 40 United Flight 93 passengers will live on long after their deaths. 40 wind chimes dedicated to their memories that will hang in a tower forever in the field where they died. The president today praised their sacrifice in stopping hijackers from reaching their intended target.
This field is now a monument to American defiance. This memorial is now a message to the world. America will never, ever submit to tyranny.
So remember, pause, reflect today, give thanks for the sacrifice then and now as the longest war in U.S. history continues in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. We will have more September 11th coverage coming up tonight at 6:30. We'll be right back.